Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and it is day 2 of our August 2025 release. Hey, so I'm using Jaded Blossom's new Gnome Dies farm add-ons. Oops, I didn't use the cow faces. Forget that. The Gnome Friends cow dies that are new. Hey Friend stamp set and outline dies that are new. I also used the Jaded Blossom's cow patties stamp set, their rainbow dies, their farm fence dies, their spring dies, their border dies too, as well as their card mat dies, and farm scenic dies. And I also used Doodlebug's odds and ends down on the farm, the 6-inch pad from Doodlebug down on the farm, Rainbow Petite Prince Gingham linen, and floral graph from Doodlebug. So first I have an A2 size card base, but the horizontal version. Made it a paper trank white cardstock. I'm going to add a 1-inch strip of paper from that down on the farm 6-inch pad. So it's got a farm print. Then I'm going to use half of like a little odds and ends piece. This has a cute little cow in it. I kind of like to match what's going on the outside on the inside. So there is my little cow. And then I'm going to add a little grouping of flowers as well. Super cute. So this is paper trank white cardstock cut at 8.5 by 5.5 inches, scored at 4 1/4 inches. Now I'm going to stamp a sentiment from the stamp set cow patties. And this will say Muchas Gracias, right, which is kind of funny. Play on thank you in Spanish, right? Except for it's a cow, muchas. Kind of fun. And I'm stamping that in VersaFine Claire Nocturne ink. And I will stamp it a couple of times just to make sure I get a great stamped image, nice and crisp. That's what the great thing is about a Misty. So now I'm going to stamp another sentiment, and this is from that new stamp set, Hey Friend, from Jaded Blossom, and I'm going to stamp that in VersaFine Claire Nocturne ink onto some paper trank white cardstock. Same thing, VersaFine Claire Nocturne ink. And it says, I utterly adore you. So this is going to be on the outside of my card. There, just trying to make sure I get a sharp image. Remember, this ink can take a bit to dry, so be careful. I'm going to use the outline dies and my Anna Griffin Mini Empress machine to cut them out. I always use a little bit of Easy C tape. Now I am going to add this. So this I cut from the down on the farm 6-inch pad from Doodlebug with my card mat die, and I'm going to put that as a sky on my A2 sized card base with some ATG tape. Sorry, a little brain fart there. So there's my sky. Kind of fun. That was just an adhesive eraser. Next, what I did was I cut out this pattern from that same, what's it called, down on the farm 6-inch pad from Doodlebug, and I'm just inking the edge with some distress ink and peeled paint. Now the border, or the little mini grass border, was cut from the spring dies, Jaded Blossom spring dies, and floral graph pattern paper from Doodlebug. And then this is from that cute pad down on the farm. And you'll see that I cut the top little slope with the border dies too. So I'm just sort of giving myself it looks like a floral kind of grassy background with a hill. Remember, inked with that peeled paint. The nice thing is when you cut it first out of using the card mat die and then using the border die, that way that card mat die stitching goes all the way around. Now I'm going to add in some paper trank white cardstock clouds cut from the rainbow dies from Jaded Blossom. They're my favorite clouds from Jaded Blossom. I just really like them. So I slipped one behind the hill a bit. Now, my farm fence, that was cut from G-Min Tyndall wood grain cardstock. And then this is some little bit of, kind of prairie grassy wheat cut from some American Crafts yellow cardstock. I'm just going to kind of adding a couple of blades there. I'm trying to decide how I want it to look. I'm going to add in one more fun cloud. There we go. I just think it's super cute. And once I can figure out where everything's going to be, so I've got my little cow. Remember that you can watch me do the assembly video. There's an assembly video for the cows, an assembly video for the Gnome Dies farm add-ons. And also there's an assembly video for that, or for the die set. I think they're called Farm Scenic dies. And you can watch me put, stuff together from that. Not only the little wheat came from that, but also the little rooster. Okay, so I'm just going to glue down my 2 pieces of wheat on the right-hand side, and I do weight it down with an acrylic block. Next, I'm going to stick down my fence. Now, I'll stick my fence down with some ATG tape just because it's like a 1/4 inch ATG tape and it worked, right? Makes it easy. And you'll see that I have my little rooster already assembled there in the upper right. Super cute stuff. And like I said, very easy. You can watch me put it together on that Farm Scenic Dies set. There we are. So I'm going to add on my little fence. I didn't use any of the layers for this fence. It looks super cute as is, but I'm going to have stuff in front of it, so I didn't want it to be, too thick. So I've got this strip of grass now, and you'll see that I cut it out of that card mat die first, and then I used the border to cut it out. So there is, isn't that fun? So there is my grass in the front. Now I'm just peeling back the head of this cow a little bit because I'm going to be slipping in the little kerchief that's from the Gnome Dies farm add-ons. Remember, you can use these with all of the little friend, gnome friend, cow friend, what is it called? Gnome friend cow dies? Sorry, guys. There's a lot of names for a lot of sets. I'm surprised I can keep them all straight myself. So I'm just gluing it down with some Barely Art glue. I'm going to add on this little milk container that's cut from American Crafts silver cardstock and silver shimmer. You can watch me put that together on that Gnome Dies farm add-ons assembly. I'm going to have my cute little rooster sort of standing on top of that milk jug. I'm just using some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals to get it in, at the same level, right? Now remember, there is an assembly video for the brand new cow dies. So, check that out if you want to watch me put that adorable cow together. Okay, so there we go. And there is my super cute little rooster standing on that little milk bucket. I'm just using some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals for my sentiment. That's going to go in the upper left-hand corner of my card. And I do peel off all the backing. And I just think this is just adorable. So super cute, right? So just peeling off all my backings. And then I'll pop it onto my card front and using my reverse tweezers to sort of get it in place. And there we go. So now I am going to modify my pitchfork, making it a little bit shorter for my card. So I'm just trimming off the top, and then I'm just going to move it down a little bit on the handle, just because I'm using it on an A2 size card, like a horizontal one, and I want the cow holding it, and I didn't want it to be going, I didn't want it to be too high up on the card. So I am going to pop up his little hoof and the little sort of hand, right? And add it to the pitchfork. Isn't that cute? And then it'll look like my cow is holding on to that super cute little pitchfork with his little, I want to call it a paw, but it's not a paw. It says front hoof. So there we go. And isn't that cute? I'm just going to use my reverse tweezers. That's a nice thing about reverse tweezers. You can sort of clamp things until they dry. And there we go. This cow has some enamel dots for eyes. I think it just, you know, the nice thing about that is that it's just got a little bit of shine. It's super easy to do. I love the new Cow Faces stamp set, but in this case with the cow print, I didn't think it would show up enough on that face. So that's why I chose to do the eyes like I did. So I'm just peeling off all of the backings here for my super cute little cow. And we're going to have an adorable little scene, right? Isn't this cute? Just trying to get it in place. And isn't he cute? Oh my goodness, just adorable. There. Now I'm going to add on some mini hearts. And these are just some red ones, you know, just to kind of go with that bandana. Keep calling it a kerchief, but you know what I mean. I'm just going to add in 3 little hearts just for fun. And there we go. So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog, be inspired by the team, the Jaded Blossom store to get your hands on these amazing products. And thanks as always for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. Make sure to come back tomorrow. Bye, everybody.